All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. I got another watch list for you, but I have a big warning for oil, and we need to talk about it. Today was crazy, and the rally was huge, 2% on the NASDAQ, but if oil was up, this would have been a crazy rally. So, we got a lot to talk about, but now with oil, why I need to give you this big warning, because today it has hit a death cross, meaning that the 50-day moving average has dropped below the 200-day moving average. Now, why do I care about this? Is this important? Yes and no, but if you've been watching these videos, I've been telling you to focus on oil, and this is why I'm giving you this warning and telling you right now, it is about to get a lot more confusing. So I have a breakdown, but quite simply, oil dropped today on more China lockdown news, as well as talks about European price caps, but pretty much we're gonna find out on Friday, but depending on what the rest of the world decides, if any sort of oil price cap is instituted, that will stop the price from going up, and the move won't happen until after the price cap is removed. So, with all the volatility watching that, what I'm telling you now is be careful on the oil plays. Everything I said, I believe it, but like I'm saying, you gotta come in with a little bit more caution now, and thankfully, all those plays that we said to watch and wait till the premiums come down, they haven't got cheaper, so it's good that we didn't actually go head first into it without waiting, but the point I'm saying now, things could get volatile, and that energy meeting on Friday, it is going to be huge. So, we have a lot more to talk about. I got the plays, the recaps, all of that. I have more plays to even look at, and then what we got today. So, let's run it, baby.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 last. Live in the head, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
So right off the bat, chat, I forgot to tell you to like the video, and hopefully I see you on stream, but there was more than just oil. I'm going to come back to it, but the first thing to understand about today, this really was a relief rally, but there was a lot of things beneath the surface. So here is the market, and what you'll notice, we are at like the middle point of that big Friday sell-off that we had last week. So not good, not bad. The point is, even before that, from Jackson Hole, we have sold off a lot. So it's not as if this was a rally that like was as angerful or as like the, June, July. They called that the most hated rally. This one, we broke past the levels. Once we got momentum, we kept going, but we are still kind of at this 50-50 point. And like I'm saying, there was a lot of good and bad beneath the surface. So let's start with the first thing. The first thing we got from the morning, there was a bunch of Fed speakers, but every single one of them, I think except Barkin in the morning, they all avoided the question about what the rate hike size will be at September. Very weird, considering most of them are like, oh, I'm 50, I'm 75. This time around, they literally said they do not want to comment on it. Oh yeah, I didn't even explain. Oh, it's in my Fibonacci. I said, I didn't even explain that. It's in my Fibonacci board, baby. No? Okay, anyways, but yeah, the Fed speakers in the morning, they avoid talking about the rate hikes, and what you notice today, every time one of them spoke, the market went up, and that's going to lead to our next big question. Again, oil is important, what we saw today is important, what we're going to get tomorrow is important, but remember, you have that CPI coming up, and before you know it, some of what you're seeing today might be getting ready for that. But as far as what you saw today, though, a lot of the Fed speakers, they kind of were there beneath the surface. And then another thing in the morning, the Wall Street Journal's Timmerhouse, this guy, they like call him the Fed leak. Pretty much, he is so accurate with the Fed, it's unreal. Literally, anytime he's came out and said 50 or 75 before the Fed meeting, the market priced it, listened, and that is what happened. So he came out this morning and he said 75 is a lock. So the odds went up on that, but again, we ended up flying, and the difference between seen now in July, anytime we saw the market ignore the Fed and kind of not react to anything, you could have justified it by saying, well, back then the rate hike odds were actually a lot lower. Today, they skyrocketed and we still saw what we saw. So keep that in mind. But that was the first thing. The second thing today, you had the Fed beige book. And if you notice from when it came out and look how the market continued that second half of the rally, it kind of contributed a little bit. And the beige book only showed weakness, which was bullish for stocks. They said, we expect more problems. Nothing has changed in the economy. We see a slowdown. We see labor kind of moderating a little bit, but all of the negative aspects, that's bullish for equities, not good for the Fed or the economy, but again, good for the stock market. So that came out. And then finally, what we said with oil, it broke a very key downside level after today. Not only is it the death cross, but this is actually oil trading below Putin. The Putin price hike. Oh my gosh. But all of that happened. We're now below that price, and that is important. But why did it come down today? There was more calming down overseas with Europe, aka the problem didn't go bad, or get worse. But what they did say is that they are getting new rounds of price caps and going forward with that plan. And that's what brought it down. And then later in the day, you had an announcement of more China lockdowns. And again, that is not good. But some people are saying all of the negative China stuff now after this may be fully priced in. But we will see what happens. But those were the things underneath the surface. That's why we got the reaction today. Again, it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too minimal. Again, 2%, nothing to balk at. But now for the final key, tomorrow is going to be the ECB in the morning. You're also going to get Powell. This is all going to occur within the first hour or two after the bell. Even ECB will occur before the market bell rings. But like I said, after we get those events tomorrow, it'll be one more day of Friday setting up. There's not going to be too many catalysts. But then next week is going to be the CPI. And we talked about it. We went over the last 24 months of CPI on stream today. And literally there was only like 2 or 3 other drops in the whole 24 months. And all of them were no bigger than 0.3% decline. And coming into this CPI, it is expected to go down. And that's why I'm saying, regardless of what the Fed says, what we saw, the yen, all of that, the real question is going to be, how is the market going to take one of the biggest drops in CPI over the last 24 months? We will see what happens, but let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I got a couple plays. I did awful today on the trades. We went 5 for 5 yesterday. Today I went 1 for 5. Kind of like 2 for 5, but then I turned a winner into a loser. We will go over all of those plays, but I got to start with number 1, man. Oil. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I want you guys to understand this. Like I'm saying, you could focus on it, and I hope this does not deter you from it, but I want you up to date with everything. So I'm not going to lie to you. There is a lot going on. Even since we made that video, I am starting to question it after seeing the momentum, watching the breaks, but there is just one big if. That's it. The only thing that has changed since I have started talking about it and saying, hey, focus on oil, focus on oil. The biggest change for me, you could disagree if you'd like, but for me, it is the EU. It is all of these things with the price caps. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this applies to oil, and you need to understand, depending on the level of price caps that they do, whether it's just Russian oil, whether or not they cap it for citizens and utility companies, who knows? But simply put, that will keep oil down and sedated up until they are removed. Again, if there is an external action where governments around the world are implementing a price cap on an asset, that's it. I can't do anything about that one. But like we've said, the minute that price cap gets removed, whether it's due to solving the problem or usually in this case of energy, pretty much supplies are going to run dry and they're going to need to do something. When those price caps are removed, then we will see a big move. But if there isn't any price caps by Friday and they don't go down this road with that, then then maybe we could watch oil come back up and everything is still the same. But like I'm saying here, if we kind of watch a one-of-a-kind external international event where governments come together to cap the price of oil, that is definitely going to get in the way of everything we've been talking about. So I'm starting there. Like I said, we were blessed. All of those strict price premiums. Again, the BP did not go down below 30. We're only down like 5% or 10% on that play. Again, January BP 39. That's the one that I'm in. PSX November 105. And here's the best part. It came down today back to $1.13, or someone on the chat said they got that today. So I'm looking for that one below $1. And now here's what I'll tell you with that one. Maybe push it out and see if there's more time, but keep that one in play. And then the Conoco, that one was a January 125 call. Those are still up like 300-400%. So hopefully you see where I'm getting at with all of this. I want you ahead. I want you prepared. Some premiums came down, and even though we're watching oil literally break into these new lows, the premiums on these companies are not reflecting that. So there's a little bit of a disconnect here. So what I'm saying is keep your eyes out for it. Watch these global events. And again, we will have to respond depending on what they do. And then from there, we're going to be able to get our next move. But that is play number one. Play number two. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, GameStop. Yep. I'm going to be watching GameStop tomorrow. Yes, they had FTX news after hours that they're partnering up with FTX. I mean, the FTX, Robinhood, that news has been good hype. We like it. We like to see them as a buyer. I don't know how long it will hold up, but they had earnings. FTX news was the biggest from the earnings. I think there'll be some hype, so I will be watching that as a hype play tomorrow. It definitely caught my attention. I just want to see what happens, but I haven't traded shares on GameStop in a minute, man, so we'll see, baby. We will see. But that is play number two. And again, that one's only a day trade. Don't get crazy. But play number three, I hope you like this one. BMY. This one's just a weirdo play. And what I mean by it, it showed up on the scanner. And surprisingly, compared to a lot of other scanners, not only did this have a lot of activity in the morning, it had a lot of activity at the end of the day. And this one was a spread, but there was a lot of other people kind of spread out. But essentially, it is a September 16th BMY put. I think you should get more time. I don't have any play on this. I'm just bringing this one up to you, but they did not play along with anything today. They were up only 0.5%. You take a look at the daily, I mean, They definitely look unique. So I thought I'd bring this to your attention. Someone remind me of this tomorrow. I'm definitely going to eye this and see what happens. But, I mean, it's an interesting mover. I would definitely keep your eyes on that one. But those are the main plays. As far as everything else, like I said, I made a couple of different plays today, but I got washed. I mean, not anything too bad. I guess maybe we'll start with the plays that we're holding for now. And these include some of the trades for the day, but I have a SPY future. We grabbed that after it broke 3960. I'm down 108 on it. It's a micro ES. Then I have the Arch Coal. That one flipped from a gain yesterday. We're only down 35 on it, but that one definitely did flip. The Boyle down 500 since Friday. The Dash, this one's from a couple weeks ago, and this is really the only upside swing that I got, but we're down on that one. IYT, I added this one today. It was up for a little bit, then flipped, and then Tesla, I took a profit on it, and then it turned into a loss on it, but again, we were at that level there yesterday. And then UNG down 700, but that's even including that option that we're still up a ton on. But I believe the shares now, the 300, they are down 1,000. So again, energy plays, like I said, if we want to go big on them, it's easier to focus, and that's what I've been doing. I'm keeping this within my budget, but you're seeing those are some of the bigger losses here. Again, I haven't realized it, but we're definitely going to have to work our way out of it. But like I'm saying, there is a lot of volatility right now, and this is what is kind of turning people off from it. But those are the active trades that I'm still holding. Again, I still have the SMMT. It didn't fit up on the list. That one's from a couple weeks ago, and I'm down still like 200. But as far as this morning, I shorted 25 shares of Boeing at open at 151.67. Then I cut out of my Tesla shares that I was down on. They went profit. I only got like a $15, $20 profit. Took out of that one, and then Boeing kept going against me, so I shorted another 25 at 154. Then I opened 25 shares short of IYT. Again, travel is kind of at that middle ground, and if things were going to deteriorate, that's why I was feeling it. So I thought I'd go with 25 shares, and there was bad, I think it was FedEx news the other day, but there was that, and then the Boeings came back down. My average was like 153.90 after the average down or something, so I was like, all right, not too bad. But I closed out. I only made like 40 bucks on that one, and then I shorted the Tesla when it got to the top, and I was up on that play for a little bit. I didn't take the profits, and then it started rallying against, and then right when we broke the top end around like 360, I was right below, and I had that short there on the future, and then still hold until right now. So So pretty straightforward. Some of these might run against me, or maybe like we saw in the last couple weeks, again, being on shares and not being so constrained, I could still lose, but it does give me more flexibility if we get that back and forth. So riding all of these, gonna be focusing on oil in those events, seeing what happens, keeping an eye on a lot of the volatility plays from this week. Again, Apple, all of those, they're gonna come in line, and then depending on where we close or where we set up coming into Friday, if there is momentum, I'm gonna try to catch it. I might keep one of these open on the downside and take the other losses on the others, but it's really gonna see where the market takes us. How do we react at the levels? And then ultimately too, what does tomorrow bring with Powell and the ECB? I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, everybody is going to have to face a challenge. The distraction will not make you fail, but you need all 100% for when it shows up, baby. So get ready. That way, you don't have to be so surprised if a challenge shows up your way. Nah, baby, you're going to be on point and ready for it. And Chad, I told you, you're made for this, baby. So let's keep going one day at a time, bro. One day at a time, 1 week at a time. And like, bro, I keep saying it. It's almost the end of the year, but day by day, watch list by watch list, man. We get in there. Let's close it out and just get ready, man. I keep saying this, and I just really hope you make the most of it. I hope you are inspired to focus and do so in a fun way. I hope you can really enjoy life too, and don't let this bring on negativity or pressure. But it's like, dude, this is the moment. You are living through history. Maximize it. You ready, baby? I know you with me. Let's go, baby. But that's it, Chad. I love you. God bless you. Drink that water. I'll see you in the morning. And let's go, baby. Let's go. Stop it. I don't know what's happened. You like, all right, Fibonacci. Does it make sense that this is a Fibonacci, bro? Like this is okay, I'm gonna leave.